All right, welcome to another episode of Connected, where I just connect with the people that are very special in my life that are doing special things in the world. Whether that's through music or they're giving of themselves. Obviously I'm in the coaching space and that's where we connect today with Eileen. How are you today, Eileen?
Hi, Tim. I am awesome. It's a great day.
Yeah.
Yes,
Beautiful. Eileen has a great platform with her husband, um, and it's called Otel Universe. They do a lot for a lot of different people. Maybe Eileen, maybe you can just speak about it a little bit.
absolutely. Well, Tim, we met you because you found the Otel music videos opportunity to put your wonderful music up on our Roku channel. We developed a very nice, friendly, expansive relationship. And I look forward to having this conversation with you today because this is like my heart song, right?
Hmm.
Um, Talking about just life and how to show up in life. And we created Otel Universe, a universal voice out of COVID when everything shut down. And I'm a coach also, breakthrough spark coach. And we decided that, people needed a voice that were uh, indie artists who are awesome and they had no place really to share other than Spotify and some of the other streaming services. And we wanted to give them a broader reach. And so Roku was one of the places that we could showcase the amazing talent that's all over the world. And you're one of them. So we
Thank
had that, and then you're welcome. And we started out actually doing live music video productions in Jacksonville, Florida, and we did that for about 8 to 10 years, and then COVID shut everything down. So we have a really strong connection with artists and filming, photography, and videography, and then the Roku channel. And then I also have all kinds of alliances and partnerships with radio stations and podcasters, and I work with authors, and I have a featured book section for anybody that has books that they've published, both in the general sector, but also I have in my music drop down where I have all the music collaborations and opportunities, a featured book. So if anybody has a book that they've written about themselves as an artist or anything that has to do with music, I welcome those books. And we're a multimedia company, so I do a lot of promoting and pushing the information out there, whether it's a video, an MP3, a book, an article, anything to give you a footprint in social media so that Google picks you up and more people can see you and hear you.
that's the key. That's the key. All about bringing energy to those algorithms, right? And
Oh gosh,
I
yeah.
mean, now with AI and everything being sort of, very much right up front, it's also what we feed into that. I don't know, I call it consciousness. I mean, I'm pretty focused on global consciousness. I mean, look at our backgrounds. We've got the
I
universe,
know your
right?
beautiful heart, a heart.
And
We're on the same wavelength,
that's
Tim,
right.
for
We are
sure.
totally, totally. So yeah, I mean, these are some of the things that I know that you can identify with, that these basic precepts that I believe. I believe I am a spiritual being having a human experience, not the other way
Yeah,
around. Not the other way around. So I'm a spiritual being first. I'm having a human experience. I have a soul. I have a spirit, and once this body gets old and dies, the soul does not die. It
right.
continues on, and so I already have, what I guess what they would call eternal life, or I have an access to eternity. And so once you start having that sort of that idea and that understanding of your existence, now you're not scared to die anymore. You know what I mean? So
Right. Well, you're more apt to live, right?
yeah,
So
totally, totally.
right. So I'm definitely on the same thinking as you,
Yeah.
spirit living the human experience. And I have a master's in transpersonal psychology. So
Mm.
I studied and still study. I'm a lifelong scholar, you could say, I'm
Yeah.
always learning and understanding how I'm showing up in the world and why things happen in my life, and fine tuning, kind of like you do a radio station, right? When there's static, I fine tune how I think and the actions I take, the decisions I make, so that I am living life to the fullest. So my three taglines on everything I most everything I post is live fearlessly, live the dream, and live life to the fullest. And
Mm.
when you think about those three, how does someone do that? And they do that by aligning with that inner being, that inner compass, and working from the inside out, and making sure that the mindset and your thinking, because that's my foundation. I'm the founder of the core thinking blueprint method. And what that does is I often say, imagine the foundation you're standing on. Is it rock, is it solid? Is it cracked? Is it crumbled? Is it in millions of pieces? Is it solid? And then what are the words that are on that foundation? Is it fear, frustration, anger, blah, blah, blah? Or is it living life to the fullest? I'm living my dream. I came across a new slogan the other day, and I love it. Faith on fire. Isn't
Ooh,
that
I
cool?
like that. I
I
like that. That's
know.
got some warrior energy to it.
Yeah, so you can use that as well.
Yeah.
But I don't take credit for it. But I was watching someone's video, and she said that, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna start using that, because it's so powerful, right? Faith on fire, because you have to
Yeah.
have faith. I believe you have to have faith and trust and belief in whatever you want to achieve can be achievable. The I can do attitude.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you're just going to keep sabotaging. Your saboteur is going to step in and give you all the reasons as to why it's not working and why it can't work. And, I love to watch your progress. I don't know, how many years have we known you now? Quite a few. I don't know. Time goes so
Yeah, we're
fast.
we're getting up there. I mean, it was yeah, I think we met just before COVID, and yeah, it was
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I've watched your progress, and, you do what I call the work. You
Mhm.
do the inner work, you do the outer work, you make those connections, I can see, you see where something's working, where something's not working, but
Mhm.
you're always in that space to bring things to that granite center that's going to push you forward and keep that momentum going forward. And the same
Mhm.
thing with what I do with Hotel Universe, what I do with working with clients, whether it's musicians, artists, whether it's an author or a CEO or an executive or somebody who is a entrepreneur. The
Mhm.
entrepreneur sector, they need as much support as possible, because it can be a lonely place,
Yes, please.
and it can be right. Um, but it can be challenging, because sometimes we need someone to bounce things off of,
Mhm.
to talk to others about uh, something that's come up in our personal life or our business life that impacts everything,
Mhm.
and to be able to strengthen that part of us that has the strong boundaries and decision making. So my core thinking blueprint method has the three C's: confidence, courage, and clarity.
Mhm. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, no, I love that so much. And we were talking before we started this recording, about the importance of centering ourselves. So I guess I want to I don't know how much time we got in this conversation, but I want to start from right here, like from this centered place, which is us, right?
Yeah.
We're centered. And because, some call it chakra, some call it energy points or whatever, but we do have an actual energy system that runs through our body from, above our head down below our feet. And it is connected to the center of the earth, and it is connected to the center of the universe. So for me, anyway, I it's important practice every day to really visualize that connection, okay? and I go through all of the energy centers, you know, the one that is above the
The
head,
crown.
they call it the
Hmm.
crown chakra,
Yes.
you know, then the one that is, you know,
Third eye.
the third eye, they call that, or and then there's our voice, you know,
And
which
then the heart.
and the heart, and then our power, which is, you know, right around our stomach and our solar area,
Solar
and
plexus.
yeah, and then our creative, which is, you know, around in our groin area, and then our grounded,
Yes.
the first chakra, which is, which really connects us to the earth, and then just imagining that all the way down right to the center of the earth, and I feel, I see, that at the center of the earth is, and the Mayans talk about this too. That's just like a crystal core,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, I see it as a like a light. By the way, my earrings are my chakra earrings.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
And what's interesting is when I wear these out, I wear these almost every day if I can. And it doesn't matter where I am, what age the person is,
Mhm.
everybody's attracted to these.
Sure, sure.
And there's something energetic about these earrings that reminds a person that they're a spirit having a human experience, right? And
Yeah,
it's on a subconscious level, unless it's someone who understands spirituality and the chakras and the energy and vibration and all
sure,
of that. So,
sure.
but by the
Yeah.
way, I'm a Reiki master teacher. I don't think I've ever told you that,
Oh,
but I
beautiful.
understand. I do chakra clearing balancing, so I'm right on board with what you're talking about. And
Wow, I'm finding out all sorts of secrets about you.
yeah, so I keep some parts of me, kind of hidden. Comes out when it's needed, like today.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about, how you always scared to share some of these things completely because you just don't want to come across as woo woo, you know.
Right, right. Yes.
But it's interesting in this time that we're in that it is more people are listening, you know.
They
I
are.
talk to kids, like even my daughter is more aware of these things. They are no longer on the fringes of society. I mean, when you think
Right.
about it, for instance, something like yoga was, it was a pretty small amount of the population that was doing yoga. Now you can't walk down the
Everywhere.
street without seeing a yoga studio,
And
so
yoga pants, right?
and yoga pants. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I mean it is more accepted. But yeah, just want to sort of start here with us, here and the visual of this recording is the best because, we've got the earth in the background, we've got the universe in the background. So we're grounded to the earth, we're connected to the universe, and, everything just kind of goes out from there. I believe the universe is infinite. It
Yeah,
doesn't end. They keep finding more and more and more and more, so and it keeps expanding, it's growing at the same time,
I know.
so I just want to get your feeling on, so if you were up in space looking down on earth and you could see all the other planets, and it looks like really like a bunch of cells, like the same as you would with a microscope, you look and you see the cells,
Yeah,
so here you are in space looking down, and there is this cell called Earth, and we are part of it. We are the electrons and atoms that are flowing around in the Earth, and I want to ask you what you feel is our responsibility being a part of that collective.
that's a loaded question, but I will answer it from my heart-centered perspective and as a what I call light worker, the coach that I am.
Mhm,
Our responsibility is to center more as a mass conscious,
mhm,
to get out of the chaos, out of the head, more into the heart center,
mhm,
and to truly practice respecting each other in a way that we you and I know what it's like to respect the authentic self and to show up in the world, to make the world a better place. So we need it on a grander scale. as a mass conscious for people to come out of judgment, to come out of expectations, to move to pull themselves out of all the emotions and all the actions that create conflict and chaos, because it's not now there is the polarity and it has to exist as water and
We are
dry.
definitely experiencing polarities. Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah. So polarity has to exist, but what actually Trevor and I have learned is we can minimize it, and it comes and goes in seconds or moments. It doesn't have to be drawn out like it is now with all this division and wars and just things that are destructive to the human race, right? And to the individual person. So I think our responsibility is to hold hands metaphorically and physically. We've lost the ability to appreciate touch, right?
Mm.
And touch in a way that's connection, not the other way, but connecting with another person, because the human experience is to want to feel loved, right? Love is just as our two worlds back there. Um, Love is ultimately what we want, to be loved, to feel loved, to give love. And somehow over humanity's lifetime, that's gotten lost. Somehow it's not become a priority. So people don't feel heard, valued, understood. So adults are spending the majority of their lives seeking what is also seeking them, but they don't have the skills or the tools to find it, nurture it, and move forward in a positive way. And then the children, I fear for our children today in the world that it has become and what's possible in the future. And I think our responsibility is to um, direct the world in a way that the generations behind us can have positive experiences and overcome some of the challenges that humans have created for the human race. So I want to see more love. I want to see more connection. I want to see more um, understanding. Listen for the other person, you know, and be in that higher vibration, that higher mindset, that more positive thinking. And if I could just, did you see my post the other day with the flower? So
I
yeah, you
did.
did, because you
I
commented
did.
on it.
I
Oh
did.
my gosh, can you imagine walking on that every morning and every
Yeah.
night? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it just imbues love and energy and
Yeah.
sunshine and
Yeah.
beauty, and we need more of that. So that's
Yeah.
that's my perspective of the responsibility.
Okay. Okay. Wow, that's pretty, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, I could say more, but I decided to give you a chance to respond.
Well, I mean, I'm a huge believer in kindness and empathy, and that is, that is needed more than ever.
Yeah.
As I watch you guys down there in the States, I'm watching this shift happening right now, and it's just like, and I don't want to get into a political conversation at
No,
all,
no.
but I am observing it from an energetic point of view, and this focus on joy, and this focus on hope, and all of more positive things. That feels good, and right away I just go, okay, I can settle down now, you know what I mean? I'm not always on edge about what's going to happen. um but um yeah, this responsibility that we have to each other, because we are all one.
Yes.
Right? We are all one. We are all connected. Just like all of the cells in our body, we've got billions of cells in our body, and they're all connected, and they make us a healthy human. When some of those cells are not connected with us, or they start going bad, then we start coming into disease and things like that. And I believe that this global consciousness is very similar. And so for me, the responsibility is to constantly feed good things into that energetic system, right? So I see global
Yes.
consciousness as an energetic system. Have you heard of the Global Consciousness Project?
I think I have actually. Yes.
So they
I haven't
actually,
really delved into it, but it sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
yeah. So they measure, they've got these, basically just like you would have these things all over the earth that measure the tectonic plates to find out where there's going to be earthquakes and stuff like that. They have these random number generators all over the entire earth, and they're basically measuring consciousness.
Interesting.
And so, for instance, there was a huge spike in global consciousness when 9/11 happened because
Mm.
everybody was watching it, everybody was emotionally affected by it, and there was this huge spike. So negative and positive things really raise global consciousness and awareness, right? And that's,
Right.
again, we talked about polarities. I mean, I wished everything could be rainbows and sunshine, but guess what?
I
It's not.
know.
It's
It's
not,
not.
right?
No.
And we need those negative things to challenge us, and really, in some ways, almost like turning up the tension on an exercise bike so that we can get stronger. And I think that's the time that we're in right now, is the
Mhm.
tension is being tightened and tightened and tightened, whether that is geopolitical, whether that is, whether that is environmental, whatever that, all of these different pressures that are coming in are here to make us stronger and to raise humanity's consciousness. What's
I
your
love
thoughts on
that.
that?
Yes, I love that. Well, what's coming to mind is um, when I talk to people about going from here to there, you're on a timeline of um, pressure, right?
Hmm.
And that pressure builds up to the stress point. So when you pull a rubber band, there's a stress point before it pops, right?
Hmm.
So we're in a stress point right now. Something has to give at some point in some way. And that's when there's a breakthrough. So
Hmm.
when something is in that stress point, you know there's a breakthrough that's going to come after that. So there's a positive in the negative that's happening. That
Hmm.
polarity is the positive. And for me, it's staying grounded and centered
Hmm.
and in the moment as much as possible to not allow the external to interfere with what I know is eventually going to pass. This too shall pass.
Hmm.
And it's learning to live life again, live it to the fullest, live life, live. I mean, I can't say it enough, right?
Hmm.
To uh to become more of an observer than a participator in the negatives, because the negatives are only going to pull you down more.
Mhm,
And I encourage people, if a negative thought, a negative feeling, a negative experience happens, look at, well, what's the opposite of that? And then shift into that opposite in your thinking and your speaking, and it will change you. So we could
mhm.
do a simple exercise right now.
Sure,
It just takes a moment.
sure.
Okay, so just sit for a minute, or not even a minute, just sit for a couple of seconds. No move. Now I want you to smile as if you're smiling at someone to help them have a better day.
Right.
So what do you feel?
Everything just gets peaceful right away.
Right. And you could feel the shift in your body, right? Like I'm
Absolutely.
going to be giving off this positive energy with this smile. Now, okay, reset, reground in center. And then I want you to just kind of put yourself in an angry, brown state.
Hard to do, but
I know, I
I can
know.
I
I'm
can
asking
I
you to
can
step
feel
out of where you
I can feel like some sort of bubbling at the up here, right?
right, right,
Yeah.
like tingling and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a different state of being. And
Mhm,
I always say the state of your life is a reflection of your state of mind.
mhm,
So there's also another one you could do, which is the weight of words, and you put a positive word in one hand and a negative word in the other. And
mhm,
some people, the positive word is heavier because they lean more towards the positive.
mhm,
Most people, the negative word is going to be heavier. So it's a weight on us. So everything, as you said earlier, is interconnected.
mhm,
And when you pay attention to the finiteness of it, like what I just took you through and shared about the weight of words, it really hopefully awakens a person to, oh, my thoughts are very powerful. My words are very powerful. They are daggers. They are flowers, metaphorically, but
Hmm.
people feel what's coming to them or at them. And so it's it's a dance with the you know sacredness of life to bend and flex and move and learn the skills and the tools that you and I both have in our toolbox to be in the world and not of it, to be able to help others but not take on their stuff, to make decisions and not second guess yourself, to create the outcome knowing with a grain of salt, mustard seed of what's the saying? I'm sometimes
Oh,
forget how you say things.
the mustard seed saying, yes, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
know.
access it right now, but I know which one you're talking about. I believe it comes from the Bible.
It does actually. Um, but yeah, just it's small changes and shifts that can have huge
Yeah.
impact. And when you start to align yourself to be in that state of being, it's a way of being and a state of
Mhm,
being,
mhm.
magic happens,
Mm,
right? It's when the miracles start showing up on a daily basis.
yeah.
And we call it, we get favored by the universe, but it's
Mhm.
really the universe giving back to you what you put out there.
Well, it's that connection that we talked about when we are centered, when we were centered to, to this life and this experience, then we have access to all sorts of different things. Like, I believe, my greatest gift, especially, since I started a very disciplined daily practice of this centering that I'm talking about. A, I feel stronger. Okay.
Mm.
B, these opposing forces, these polarities, and we live in a polarized situation. I mean, even day and night, hot and cold, light and
Right,
dark, evil and good, and all of these things. We live in this environment, uh, personally, but also globally and universally. So when I take the time to center myself and be strong in that, and I think I'm coming up, honestly, I'm coming up on 1,700 days of like doing this every single day. And I feel like I'm getting stronger every day. But one of the beautiful gifts that I've received from that is the gift of a connection to my intuition. And intuition, I think, is the greatest gift that we can have as human beings. If we live from the mind, we are always going to go wrong. I'm sorry.
yes.
We're just going to go wrong. The mind is an amazing machine. It can do all sorts of different things, but it can't feel. The heart can feel, but it can't really do what the mind does. If we can get these two things working together,
Connected.
which is part of that
Yes,
alignment that we're talking about,
yes,
then we have access to a third thing that is outside of us, that is within everything, which is intuition. And
right.
so, even though something might not seem logical at all when it comes up, we can go, yeah, but that intuition is saying yes.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
so I will do that. And it never steers me wrong anymore. Like, I honestly, Eileen, it's an amazing thing that's going on with that. So
So
when I was just saying about responsibility, what's our responsibility to the larger global consciousness? I think our responsibility is to get grounded and centered in ourselves, to have that conversation on a daily basis with ourselves, because there's Tim here who's talking to you, right? There's this outside Tim, but there's also an inside Tim. And he and I need to have a daily connection and conversation so that we can go out into the world and input the right stuff into this global consciousness that is going to raise the entire consciousness, right? So that my little part of that, my little light, adds to the bigger light that is everywhere, and so that's what I see as my responsibility.
And then we have the two lights as you see in our videos. I
Mhm.
mean, in this video, the
Yeah.
two lights together, which is more powerful, that adds
Mhm.
to the bigger light.
Sure.
So, by the way, I'm not sure you're aware. Also, I have an ebook, "Embrace the Five Principles of Core Thinking for Success," and one of the chapters is about um, that mind and heart connection. And
Mhm.
so I talk about, do not make a decision, do not take a step forward unless you feel 85 to 90% good about it, because
Yes.
it will end up in failure or not the way you want. It
Yes.
has to be that inner intuition. This feels right.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah, and more
I,
more
I
more than ever now as we're, we're bombarded by all sorts of different energies, and especially with social media and whatever news and, and fear and, and chaos and it, it becomes such a it's the ultimate survival tool.
right. It's a burden. It's a burden on us
Yeah.
because we're not meant to carry that negative weight.
No.
We're not meant to walk this earth and this experience in such chaotic negative
Yeah.
energy. And so that's why I encourage people to step out of it and observe. It doesn't mean don't put your head in the sand. It
Right.
means don't take it on, observe it.
Mhm.
Critical thinking. So let me get your thoughts on critical thinking. I think critical thinking has been thrown out the window with the bathwater. Um, and it's a shame because people have lost the ability to think for themselves.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to bring it back to people to help them to be okay to have their own thoughts, to be
Describe
okay to make their own decisions. Yeah.
describe critical thinking to me. Define it.
It's when you take in information and you take a look at everything, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and you analyze it for yourself. Does this make sense? Does it feel good? It's not taking somebody else's word for it. It's analyzing it and being critical of it, and then doing more research to support what, again, it's back to that feeling. Does it feel like it's right? And we humans tell on ourselves. We are in such a gaslight. People are gaslighting and lying, and I mean, there's just so much that I see that so many don't see because they're not in that critical thinking
Mm.
place in their way of being and living. But it's really taking responsibility for the information you take in and how you dissect it
Sure.
to see how it fits in your world and in your decision making and what you think about what other people are presenting to you.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to be said for having a healthy diet, and that's not just food. It's what you're
Yeah.
s it's what you're listening to, it's what you're seeing, it's what you're hearing, it's what you're feeling, it's the energies that you're around, I mean, having a healthy, how shall I say, global diet is so important. And again, like you said, it's not like putting your head in the sand and like I feel like with emotions and stuff like that, the only way that I can clear away, for instance, a negative emotion is to dive into it, is to feel it fully, like really feel it. And then, by doing that, I am able to work through it. I don't let it
Yes.
overwhelm me, right? So
Right.
it's not putting your head in the sand. We're here. Every little thing that comes at us is for us to look at, disseminate, as you say, have critical thinking about it, feel it. Does it feel good? Does it feel bad? And then work through it and then give it away. But this whole idea that of being the observer in your life. So have living your life. So being, okay, I'm here and I'm Tim, I'm having the experience. But can I also get out here, just like I talked about looking at the planet from out in space? Can I get out here and observe what Tim's doing and learn about what Tim is doing and maybe what he could do better or maybe, what he's not doing so well, you know?
Yes, and
Um,
and that's another chapter in my ebook. Maybe you should look at my ebook.
well, so what I'll do is when I post this video, please comment and put your ebook into it. I'd really appreciate that.
Well,
And
I can give a link. It's on
yeah,
Amazon.
yeah,
So absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a great book that, you read it once and you take in the information and then you're going to want to go back because you'll get something out of it the second time. But I
sure.
give a lot of action steps. And so it's information, but also do these things. So it's opportunity to improve one's life
Mhm.
in small incremental ways that can have a huge impact on shifts and changes in communication, connection, and also how the inner workings work in the self.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning, Eileen. It was great to be connected with you.
Yes, you're welcome. I enjoyed this. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. I've been talking to Eileen Bild from Otel Universe on Connected, and we will see you again sometime soon.
Bye.
Bye.